If you're invested into silver, gold, copper, or even some other types of assets right now, you are in a good position because I believe we are right at the dawn of some big things happening in the US, and we're going to talk about it in today's video. So I want to talk about the stock market, the money printing, and how that is going to play a very important role for gold, silver's price coming up. We'll talk about copper as well, because copper, you guys know we've been speaking about this on the channel. It's pretty much at an all-time high, so get ready for some big moves coming out of copper. We're also going to talk about the latest of the Iran conflict, so what you need to know, what is some rumors and intel out there that could potentially happen next, and plus a ton more. So if you guys enjoy it, like the video, and let's get straight into this one. If we have a look right here, pretty exciting things are happening for gold, silver. It does look like these metals are potentially getting ready to go. It's going to be contingent to some degree on what happens next week, particularly in the geopolitical realm. But I would say right here, if you have a look at this, this is insane. According to Bull Theory, NASDAQ and S&P 500 just gave their highest weekly close ever in history, even without the peace deal. That is 10 trillion added in the last 30 days. Never seen anything like this before. And yeah, so tech stocks in the US are absolutely flying out of the charts. So if you actually let's bring up Intel Corp right here. This thing is absolutely flying. So all the big players, Nvidia, Intel, infrastructure for AI is really starting to surge. So you can actually see right here, just from the start of April, Intel has done, what is that? That's insane. 40 to about, nearly a 4x, but it's done at least a 3x right there in terms of price action. But we are seeing just a huge amount of money flow into US equities. And this is also on the back end of massive amounts of US national spending. The money supply is going up. Remember, there is no real plan to reduce this or eliminate this realistically. So you have to understand this is going to be a very good, I think, foundation for gold, silver, copper, and a lot of other metals at the moment. So we're sitting at about 39.2 trillion in US national debt. Remember, with all these AI stocks, physical hardware stocks, which, they are looking pretty good, potentially, how is it overvalued? Is there a bit of a bubble going on? But I would say, look, AI is very important. I would say from a military point of view and also from an economic point of view. People are saying this could potentially, eliminate a large degree of the workforce. And all that hardware behind it is obviously very important. But remember, to build and electrify the nation, you're still going to need assets like silver. You're going to need copper as well. And gold is also a very good hedge against monetary debasement as well. So I think copper, silver, gold are looking very good in tandem with the S&P 500 rise, right? So S&P 500 basically hitting record all-time highs, just absolutely insane, that little spike right there. And of course, just be wary of potential pullbacks that could happen anytime you see record all-time highs. People might take profits, etc. But one thing we are seeing is, look, more US national expenditure, more money supply going up. And really, the biggest thing you have to have on the radar at the moment is, if you don't own assets, right? If you don't have exposure at the moment, you're in a very risky position because you have a risk of getting debased, right? Because a lot of money, it's going into the stock market. It's going to go into precious metals as well. But one thing is, asset owners are going to be winners, right? Asset owners are winners. If you don't own assets, it's a very tough position to be in. And there's going to be people out there who are in a very tough position, where they're working, 9 to 5 jobs. They don't own assets. They're struggling to pay bills. And this is the double, almost like the double crunch that's happening in the economy. So if you're an asset owner right now, you're going to be sitting pretty basically. So you're going to be at the top. If you don't own assets and you're relying on your job that doesn't actually increase in terms of, real inflation, it's going to be ultra tough, like ultra tough. And it might even get worse with AI and AI tech. And remember, AI stocks are going to be a hedge against AI as well, because a lot of the profits, they flow back to the AI stock owners, right? So you're going to see AI get rid of jobs, but also it's going to go into the share price, right? So watch out for that as an. And guys, into Iran conflict. So I've seen some interesting kind of rumors circulating. Saeed's come out right here. So this guy's the Iranian foreign minister, to give us a bit of an update. So there has been, look, a little bit of fighting between US and Iran, but it does look like Trump is trying to pivot out of it to some degree. but we do have an update to talk about. But if we listen in right here, he says every time a diplomatic solution is on the table, the US opts for a reckless military adventure. Is it a crude pressure tactic or the result of a spoiler? Once again, duping POTUS into another quagmire. Whatever the cause, outcome is the same. Iranians never bow to pressure. They're saying right here that missile inventory is actually 120%. So they're saying the CIA is wrong. They got heaps of missiles ready to go. Their readiness to defend the people is 1,000%. And, you know, it's going to be interesting right here to see kind of what happens. But we have seen this whole kind of attack against Iran. From a military point of view, it has seemed to fail. It's failed currently. It's not working. But I did actually see recently that Iran is trying to bypass this with some land bridges through China, with trains as well. But also there has been some rumors circulating around that I saw on Telegram. And I don't have a link to it on X, but I'll just read it out. They say right here, according to Geopolitics Watch, according to Israeli Channel 12 News, that there has been a message conveyed to the US advocating for a decisive shift. And basically what they want the US to do or push them towards is a destruction of Iran's energy infrastructure as the primary decision to move on the current stalemate. So they're saying basically, you know, they need to wipe out Iran's energy infrastructure. And they say that it could be done in a 24-hour window. And they say the rationale behind the strategy is that the rapid and total neutralization of Iran's energy sector would effectively cripple its economy, leaving the government with no choice but to enter negotiations in a submissive state. So that's according to Telegram and Israeli Channel 12 News. And it's just something to have on the radar. So remember, look, we are seeing a little bit of a wind down of the conflict, but look, anything can potentially happen. You have to just, you know, be prepared for every scenario, and that could be something that could be on the table. It depends what Trump does, but it's just something we have to have on the radar because it's never truly over just yet. But we are seeing, look, some good moves into gold, silver, stock market's really liking this kind of pivot out of the Iran conflict. And, you know, at the moment, I think it's just going to come down to Trump. So what Trump decides to do next, you know, who is he influenced by? What decision is he going to make? You know, that is where most of the drivers between asset prices will go. But having said that, look, one thing we do know, US national debt going to the moon. Money will continue to print. That's almost a certainty, right? 99.999% chance this thing continues to rocket to the moon. And again, you know, the key takeaway from today's video, guys, is, you know, get ready because a lot of these prices might be heading up soon. So if we continue to get some good flow of positive news, guys, we might be heading back to, you know, highs for silver. Silver might be going back to 90, 100 bucks, then getting a chance to test all-time highs. Same deal with copper's pretty much at an all-time high. It looks like right here. And remember, there's a very big problem with copper, and the problem is your mining isn't very good at the moment. Like, it's hard. The supplies are limited. It's getting harder and harder to get copper out of the ground. And, you know, recycling isn't that effective at the moment. So copper is something going to potentially be very big in the future. I've already got exposure to copper, but I might be adding more copper to my bag. And, you know, gold is your traditional kind of hedge against inflation as well, which is looking very bullish against the monetary debasement. And guys, that's today's update. If you guys enjoyed it, like the video, really appreciate you tuning in. Go have a great weekend, and I will see you for some more action next week.